I'm all ready and set to talk facts, talk sports, and talk everything we know. Are you?
Oh.
Which is nothing.
Make a play.
Go.
You think I know nothing?
We all know nothing.
Oh.
That's
Well,
why we do
we're all
what we
sitting
do.
here. We're at Alex's apartment here, and we're waiting for Drew Brees to break the all-time touchdown record against the Colts. This is the Memo. Welcome back. I'm Richard Lyons here with Matt and Alex. We got a lot of fun stuff today. We got questions again. I think it went really well last time. What do you guys think?
I thought it was a great show.
I agree. So everyone, if you didn't hear that one, make sure you go back and listen. Also make sure you give us a subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, all the avenues you can listen to us. And make sure you follow us on Instagram. What are we? _Memo_podcast. Twitter, what are we? Is it like the Memo?
The Memo Podcast.
At the Memo Podcast.
Yeah.
And then Facebook is just the Memo. So go to all those pages and find us so that way you have every possible way of seeing us on your feed.
It's all about consumption, as many different
Yeah.
platforms as possible. We're on all of them.
We want you to
got
see us
different
wherever
things.
you go, wherever
Different-
you turn.
Different things available on each different
Hey,
site.
you got to do whatever you got to do to get the memo.
All right. So, what do you want to go off the top with today? Do we have any nice starter topics that you just have on the top of your head? Did you guys see the new Xbox?
Yes!
There
I'm
you
sorry,
go.
we're in a lot of... Me and Alex here, we have big-time fantasy implications in this game
We'll
tonight.
both take that.
We'll both take that. We're happy. Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara.
T.Y. Hilton.
Who did he throw that? He just threw the touchdown. Who did he throw it to?
Drew Brees has just broken the record for most touchdown passes
Wow.
of all time.
Another week, another breaking news on the memo.
Yep. This is where you come for the best information in sports.
I left my water.
If you want to get the news 2 days after it happens,
Yeah.
listen to the memo.
I'm sure everybody is watching this game right now, but guess what? We saw it first. We have it here for you.
Oh, you know what? You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to go live on Instagram.
All
Do you
right.
think we should do that?
Yeah, why not?
Give everyone a sneak peek to the first 10 minutes of the show.
Why not?
Why not? But did you guys see the new Xbox?
No.
No, I heard you talking about it, but I didn't. I
It's
didn't
like
check it out.
a rectangle, like vertical, but you can put it horizontally. But it's cool, and it's called.
So if I turned my Xbox on its side,
yeah, but it doesn't. The
Wouldn't it
Xbox
also
One
be-
doesn't have that capability.
you
Doesn't-
can turn the Xbox One on its side.
Can you?
What would happen? You just turn it sideways.
I heard it explodes.
You know when it does that shit with the disc, like eep.
No, I remember we used to do it all the time. A bunch of people that I knew had it there, sideways.
I think you're lying.
So the feature of the new
Talking
Xbox,
about the 360 or the Xbox One?
the Xbox One.
Whatever.
So the biggest difference is that this one can be vertical.
Yeah, but it's like really a rectangle this time. Like it's not like doesn't look like a console. It's like a legit rectangle.
Like a box?
A box, like a computer tower, but not as long.
Like a speaker? Like Tony's old speaker?
Yeah, kind of like a speaker.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like.
Can it hold more
incredibly
than
lit.
4 games? Because
Yeah,
I literally have to delete games every time I buy
I bought
new
a hard
game.
drive for that.
Why should I have to buy a hard drive? I'm buying the game. I can play it.
I don't know. Hold on,
Stupid.
Let me go live.
Back in my day, you used to just put the disc in
Yeah.
the thing, and then
Yeah.
you could play the game.
It doesn't make any sense. I can't. If I wanted to download a game right now, I have to delete 3 games that I like to play just to be able to start the download, and then that will take 2.5 days to even finish.
And you wonder why I stopped playing video games.
That's why. That's definitely the reason.
They did make it really complicated. Like I tried to pick up Fortnite my senior year of college. I was awful, and it's just so complicated now. Like you got to download the game, you got to wait 9 hours for it to download.
You were just bad at Fortnite. That's all it comes down to.
Well, I stopped
Because
playing
if you had
before.
played it, then you obviously waited through the download.
Yeah.
So you already survived that part. And you
Join
tried
the,
it.
Yeah, I
join
was-
the thing on your phone, just in case anyone looks. If anyone tunes in, sorry.
We're basically buying followers.
Breaking news. Oh, it's Drew Brees.
Oh, see,
We already broke that news.
we
Yeah.
broke that news before we actually went live, though.
Should we break it again?
Are we live now?
Oh,
Yeah, we're on Instagram.
Whoa. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Guys,
fuck,
Drew
Barry Sanders.
Brees just a second, broke the NFL passing touchdowns record. And Tom Brady won't catch up to him.
He definitely won't.
Definitely not.
He's 2 touchdowns behind him, but
So he will
You
break.
never know.
He will pass Peyton, but he will not break.
will he
Brees.
pass
Yeah.
Peyton?
He's 2 touchdowns
He's
behind.
1 behind. I don't know.
Rest of the season, tough Bills matchup
2
coming
weeks
up.
left. What if he doesn't toss one?
Did he toss one this week?
Yes.
This is a good segue into the Pats. Recent scandal, most recent scandal.
Oh shit! We didn't get to talk about that last. Oh well,
We
now
did,
there's the new.
but now there's
touched on
some more information
What
coming
do you
out
think,
that
Richard? Because you were a big supporter of the Patriots.
it's
Alright,
a secret
well,
Pats fan over here.
No, that's
The
not.
biggest Jet fan I've ever met loves the Patriots.
I don't love
So let's
the
hear
Patriots.
it. Let's hear what you got. I'm gonna
I
listen.
didn't
but I'm gonna
say
get a
that.
beer, so-
I said let's wait and see. They have the video. I don't know what to say. And then
you believe that.
I said at this point I'm inclined to believe them until they say what it is.
Yeah, well, recent developments have come out, and supposedly the Patriots are looking at a pretty big penalty. I see a lot of people saying, like, what's their intention of filming the sideline? Like, what could they possibly get out of this? That's not the point. It's against the rules. Supposedly, I was saying last week how they were independent contractors. Supposedly, that's not true. They were employees of Kraft Productions, and
So now all the information's different. So
yeah,
That's what I was saying. But
so
I told you.
was going on the information that I was told. So what am I supposed
No,
to do?
you were told that information by the Pats.
I didn't
and
know
I
they were
told
not
you-
independent. Whatever they were, apparently they work for Kraft Mac and Cheese.
But yes, but you heard that, and then that's what I said. I was like, why they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. They gave you their explanation, and you just bought it. I was like, dude, they're obviously lying.
All right.
Like, they
well,
don't
I never
deserve-
said that they were. I said
Guilty until
I don't
proven
know what to
innocent.
think
That's what this
until-
country was built on.
All right. No, I should have. I should have assumed that they did it because of what the other things they've done.
Yeah.
But
Of course.
no, you shouldn't assume anything. It's always good to have more information.
But he assumed one way instead of the other.
He didn't. He was saying, "Let's get some more
No, he
information."
didn't.
We'll have
He
to
said,
we'll have
"I
to go
believe
back.
The Pats. He said Belichick would never tell a lie.
I definitely.
But to
didn't
go
say
back
that.
off what you said about how what people are saying, where it's like, oh, I looked at the video, you can't see anything. There's nothing even there. Like, it doesn't matter. They didn't get any information off that. The intention is what's wrong, and that's what goes back to Deflategate when I would bring this up, and then they deflated the footballs, and then everybody says, oh, they won like fucking what, 45-10, or it wouldn't have
Yeah.
mattered either way. Like, it doesn't matter what the score of the game was, or it doesn't matter if they got any information or not. The intention to go into the game before it starts to cheat is all that matters.
Yeah, Matt's a big principle guy.
It's true. It's the integrity of the game is tarnished. Like, whatever it is, if they won 3-0 or if they won 45-10, they intentionally broke the rules to get an advantage, and that's what should be ruled upon.
Fuck.
Well, that's what they're gonna rule upon now that
Sorry.
they have the footage of the guy. He's like, I'll delete it. Come on. I'm surprised he was.
That
like,
shit is
I'm
so
surprised he wasn't
funny.
like, I'll slip you a hundo.
That shit is so funny. The
Guy's like-
Bengals security guard is so funny in that
Yeah.
video too. The guy goes, the Pats video guy is like, no man, like no harm. Like I'm sorry, I didn't know. Let's just delete it. And the Bengals guy, he goes, it's way past that point, pal. He's just like, can't do that, man.
That is funny. So, is there any footage at all of a guy, a scout?
What do you mean?
There must be.
There's like,
Because
he's
the
like
excuse-
the guy in
the
the video. He's
excuse-
like, I don't see an advanced
Oh,
scout.
yeah, yeah, there's no scout here. That is ridiculous. There's still more information to come out. The investigation is still ongoing.
But the word on the street is that there's going to be a pretty bad punishment.
Is that true?
Yeah. I was watching ESPN this morning. I watch ESPN for like 20 minutes while I'm getting ready in the morning, and the guy who uncovered the whole Spygate story was saying that there's going to be a pretty big punishment coming. Maybe draft picks. I guess it depends on like how far back the command chain it goes. Like if it was
That's
like
the thing.
Belichick's direct order to like whoever's responsibility it was. Like if it was just this one like production guy trying to like do too much and like suck up to his bosses and record, then I guess whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we'll see.
If they can find, like, they have to be it could have been from Belichick, but they may not be able to prove that.
Yeah, I mean,
Who knows?
if they were smart, they wouldn't let that get back to him.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, that we can go into, I'm not sure where we want to go from here, but we got a couple questions. I know I got one specifically about the Patriots and
So did
the
I.
repercussions from
All right,
this.
why don't we-
so we can jump into that. We can
Yeah,
just go
why
right
don't
to
we
questions.
just jump into all the questions?
All right,
So-
starting off with questions.
Hey,
Thank you, everyone, for your questions.
it's always appreciated, and
We'll tag you in the comments so you know that we answered them.
Yeah, we'll give you a nice timestamp for your convenience. You don't have to search through the video.
And if you like how we answered the question, make sure to go back and listen to the podcast because it's a good one.
What he said.
I support that 100%.
What was that?
I don't know. When I said what he said, I whistled, so I did that voice.
So Herbert
Mr.
from Family
Mossy.
Guy. Who?
Mr. Mossy.
Oh,
You
that
guys
was-
remember that
Bringing
guy?
up the,
What was he,
the
like a
teachers.
7th grade science teacher?
Yeah, he was a boss.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't have him,
What did
He was a
do?
cool guy.
so he had
Was
a
he-
whistle.
He was a science teacher, and yeah, he had one of those speech impediments where whenever they would say an S, it would be like, shh. But
A lisp.
he was cool. He was kind of a savage. No,
You mean a lisp?
it's different from a lisp. A lisp is, but his is more like in the back of the mouth. It's like,
Okay.
Like,
That's how you call a cat.
and this is the speech pathology podcast.
Yep.
Our first question was actually about speech pathology. So,
No, it wasn't. All right. So this was related to the Patriots conversation we were just going to get into. My friend Lee Kreplick, who is a Pats fan.
Thanks, Lee.
He's one of the rare rational Pats fans who, is actually going to have like some concern with what's going on because you can actually see the facts and understand that it's not just, a bunch of bullshit. It's an actual problem. So Lee asks, what is a reasonable punishment for the Patriots for Spygate 2.0? His words, not mine.
well, last time they lost a first-round draft pick, right?
Yeah, I'll pull up the exact punishment. They lost a draft pick.
So they got to get that again.
Belichick lost.
Well,
Belichick got fined
$500,000.
Repeat offense got to be at least double.
Well, you got to see, like I said before, you have to see like where this guy was taking orders from. If it's not directly from Belichick, or like, it depends. Like it all depends. He could have just had like a flagrant manager who was like, "Oh, go do this," and then like, yeah, the organization should definitely get fined just for having no check for this occurrence happening. But
You can't just put it on.
I gotta withhold judgment. I know that's like not a good take, but you have to wait to see where all the facts are, and then after that you have to decide a punishment.
Okay. Well, so yes, but let's for the sake of the question,
Assume
let's
the worst?
Let's assume that the Patriots orchestrated this and Belichick and everybody involved were guilty of it. If that were the case, if it were to come out that they had cheated again and were videotaping teams again, what would be an appropriate punishment?
I think you'd have to.
Gotta be draft picks.
And I said this last week, and I'll say it again. If Belichick is found to be involved in this, just like what I was saying with A.J. Hinch with the Astros and any of the GM and the owner who were involved in that, if Belichick is guilty of this, he should be thrown out of the league and should never be able to coach again. It's the second offense. Who knows between, what was this, 2006 when it happened the first time?
Yeah, 2007.
Between 2006 and 7 to 2019, I'm supposed to assume that they did nothing like this for 13 years and then decided to do it again. If he's involved again, you have to assume that it's been going on for as long as he's been coaching there.
I mean, Belichick
can't
himself
stand
has
for
he himself has said that nothing has fundamentally changed since Spygate,
Right.
like we were saying on last week's podcast. So, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that, honestly.
Throw him out of the league. How are you supposed to? If $500,000 doesn't deter him from cheating and losing draft picks, obviously it didn't matter because they still won multiple years after that. So draft picks are whatever. They pick 30th every year anyway. He should be held accountable. He should be made an example of and kicked out of the league. And then the rest of the Patriots' legacy is completely tarnished if that's the case. It's extreme that I'm saying it, but it's true.
If it's that level of, like Alex said, but
Right.
I have a feeling it's not going to
if.
come down that hard on him.
I'm saying if he was found to be involved.
I don't know if they would kick him out of the league.
They probably wouldn't because of who he is and just the Patriots in general, but like, dude, I mean, how can you allow somebody to get away with filming other teams multiple times?
The thing is with so maybe they deserve that punishment, but if you think about it from the perspective of the NFL, like tarnishing the Patriots' legacy is tarnishing the NFL's legacy because
100%.
because that's who the NFL has been for the last 20 years. So I don't know if it's going to be to that extent if I'm just speculating. But I just if they're caught red-handed cheating multiple times, then I can't argue with that. The fact that the argument that they should get a very strict punishment and the people responsible should be not given the privilege of participating in this league.
Mm-hmm.
You have to set a precedent, and if people are cheating and getting caught, then they have to be removed.
But the NFL has not really handled anything correctly, so
That's also true. You have to expect that Roger Goodell is going to blow it somehow. And say what you want about a lot of people, mostly Patriots fans, seem that they think that Roger Goodell is out to get them, and like everybody hates the Patriots. They think that they have this huge target on their back. A lot of the time, it's rightfully so with all of the shit that they've gotten themselves into.
And because they win all the time. Obviously, everyone wants to beat you.
People, they want to see the Patriots' downfall. They want to see that finally end, which is going to happen sooner or later anyway because Tom Brady is done, which is a whole other story that we can get into. But it's such a bad look for a team who everybody thinks is, like the
gold
cream,
standard.
the gold standard, the cream of the crop. For 20 years, they've been doing these great things, winning every single year. You just got to wonder how much of it is tainted by these scandals, and it's upsetting.
Yeah. Well said.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure we'll in the next few weeks get our answers, and we'll see if there's already word that there's going to be a harsh punishment. I'm sure that means they're.
And I'm sure a lot of Patriots fans are going to say, of course, you Jets fans, you Chargers fans are going to say this. Come down hard on the Patriots. We've been good anyway. What's a little cheating, blah, 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 like a little recording of the sideline. I get all that, but you do the crime, you do the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the bottom line. And if the facts come out that they were cheating and it was egregious and it was so-and-so and X, Y, and Z, then you gotta punish them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Sorry, Lee. I don't know if that was the answer you were looking for. But
Hey, I think
Now that's a good
that's what
segue.
it is.
It's a good segue into a question that I got from my friend Andrew Schatz, who I know is going to have that argument that I was just talking about. Oh, you're a Jets fan. You're just salty that the Jets suck and the Patriots are good. And that's valid. But
it's true.
But
But
let's just deal in facts here. But coming off of this conversation, Andrew is asking us if the Bills will score 14 points against the Patriots this week. What do you guys think?
That's a great
They
over-under
might not.
on points scored.
I don't think they will.
I think they. You don't think they will? I think they'll score 13.
I don't know. I'm sure this week they're going to do a little less cheating. A little less surveilling of the Bills' sideline calls, so maybe they'll break 14. But if I had to put money on it, I'd say
So
they'll score
Buffalo,
less.
they average 20 points a game, which is 22nd in the league. So they definitely are, limited on offense, going against the best team in the league or the best defense in the league. 14, I think that's a good over under, but I don't know like
I don't think Allen's good enough to get 14 for them
2 touchdowns Can't
against
put
the
up 2.
Patriots. Hey, they can't put up 3 per game, so I don't know.
It's also keep in mind, like defensive touchdowns count,
That's true.
and like turnovers.
Yeah,
I'm
dead
sure.
fish playing quarterback for the Patriots.
I'm sure the Bills will be able to force the Patriots to turn the ball over.
We saw the
but
game they played the first time around. It was a close game.
Yeah, and the Bills scored how many points?
They scored
16,
less.
I
They
think?
scored less. I thought it was less than 14.
Maybe. But
Pull it up. I'll find it.
all right, decisions. I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say under 14. I don't see the Bills scoring many points against the Patriots defense.
I say under as well.
Well, I'm gonna lift the curtain a little bit here because we are predicting Bills Patriots later in the episode, and I think the Bills are gonna win. So I'm gonna take the over. I think it'll be a low scoring game for sure.
They can score under 14 points and win.
That's impressive to do any week. The first time
That's true.
Bills Patriots, it was 16-10,
16-10. Wow.
and that was when we thought the Pats were good, and they held them to
They're
16.
pretty much the same as they were then.
They are. You're right. They are the same now. That game was in
If anything,
Buffalo.
worse.
What?
If anything, they're worse now.
That was the point I was making. That we
The
thought that
offense.
they were good at that point. They were 3-0. It was week 4. I think. Listen, I think this is going to be a really good game. I think something like
I'm excited for this game.
20-10, 20-13, or something like that. I'm going to take the over. I think they'll be able to score 14 points. Because I think that the Bills will have the ball on offense long enough. Get in.
Wow.
Get in. Let's.
Wow, yeah. Drew Brees is 28
fucking
for
go.
29 with 4 touchdowns.
He still hasn't thrown an incompletion
He's
since
thrown
28
one.
for
halftime.
29.
Yeah, just one.
Wow.
Taysom
Let's
Hill.
go.
Damn.
It's 4 touchdowns, and now he has like 300 yards, I think.
Let's fucking go.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry that I interrupted that because I have Drew Brees on my fantasy team, and that might have just sealed my fate for a trip to the finals.
Nice.
Better than Peyton.
Yes, sir. He is better than Peyton. But I'm sorry. I'm going to take the over. I think they'll score 17, 20 points and win the game.
All right. Well, there you have it, Andrew.
All right,
We'll
do we
tag you
have
in the comments.
Any more Patriots questions?
Don't think so.
Should we stay in the NFC East?
Yeah.
I have
Sure.
2 Jets
We
questions.
talked about the good teams.
NFC
Let's talk about
East.
the bad teams.
I meant the AFC East. God fucking damn it.
Hey, don't use God's name in vain.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay, can they take out
So-
Kamara now?
This one is from our great friend
No,
who
they
has
got Thomas.
Please.
been on the show multiple times. Yigal Harari.
Wow.
He was on the show when we did a regular show. He
Big
was
time
part of
headliner.
part of our draft. He was part of our game, our All-Star game. We should do that again this year. So he said, what free agents should the Jets target this offseason? Probably Mahomes, Rodgers, Zeke, DeAndre Hopkins,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. You can even put him at running back. No.
I don't really know who are the free agents available this year.
One that I have my eye on is Scherf from the Redskins. He's a guard.
I think you should handle this question, Richard.
Maybe a guy like Marcus Peters. But I'm a little skeptical after our past few big cornerback signings that were close to 30 have not panned out, being Revis, Tremaine Johnson, among others. Let's see. I don't know what they're gonna do with Bell. Receiver class is pretty weak unless Cooper hits the market, which I do not see happening. Maybe you can get a guy like Funchess or Robbie's a free agent. I hope we bring him back, but I'm not. I don't really know all the specific players right now, but positions I like them to go after. I'd like to see at least 2 starting O linemen, some sort of pulse of an edge rusher. You're not going to find they have no way of finding a stud this year unless they draft one at 7, which I don't see
pass rusher?
happening. Yeah.
There are good pass rushers that will be there around that time.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's the direction they're going to go in. I think they're really trying to build around Sam.
The offense.
So,
Yep.
O-line, receiver, something like that. But yeah, 2 O-linemen, solid edge rusher just to have someone, and a corner. You can't fill all the holes, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Too
them.
many holes. Too many holes to fill. I mean, what did they even address last year in terms of the needs that they had? They got
their needs
a
were
running back.
O-line, edge rusher, and corner, and
A
their needs
linebacker
are
and a running
still O-line, edge rusher, and corner.
Yeah, that's why
they got a running back and a linebacker,
Yeah.
which are like those are like luxury positions.
Yeah.
almost.
So those players would be great for us to have if we had the other ones.
Yes, exactly.
Williamson and Mosley are both really good. Mosley's really, really good. Williamson's like very good. And
I agree with that. Those are good players. Like Mosley's great, but
Yeah.
like the linebacker position in general is
it's not. It's dumb that they had Williamson and then they put so much money into Mosley.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
not
not
that
what
much
you
of
needed.
a priority.
and the defense has
They
been
should've-
solid this year.
They should have got Clowney.
Yeah.
So
That's why. Sorry,
so,
keep going.
yeah, I wouldn't like.
Clowney.
Is Clowney gonna hit the market? Yeah, the defense has been solid this year. So, just as from that perspective, I would prefer for them to focus on offense, and offense is just inept if their offensive line is that bad.
Mhm.
And I've been saying this week after week, but I think they just need to prioritize the O-line. So, yeah, I know Sheriff is good. He can definitely use a change of scenery. Like, nobody likes playing for the Redskins. Hopefully we can pull that. But, yeah, whatever it is, I just think the priority needs to be offensive line. I don't know all the players that are hitting the market, but if you're going to sign a receiver or you're going to sign a tight end or someone else or something else that's not offensive line, it just needs to get addressed by the time week 1 happens, or those signings will just be like another Le'Veon Bell. Like nobody doubts that he's still talented, but he just doesn't have maybe Matt does. But if he had a solid offensive line to block for him, I'm sure that he would be having a better season than he is.
And I think it should be a priority going into free agency and the draft. And just because if we say we land 2 guys in free agency, it should still be a priority in the draft, because you just have to build that wall and it has to be stable for years.
Right.
I think Sam's shown that if you give him time, and he can make a play, and it doesn't have to be the best receivers in the league. I would like to get him a good number 1 receiver, but as long as he's standing up, you can't make plays from your back. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think Sam Darnold is talented enough that if the weapons are average or maybe slightly below average, that he can take them to that level of being above average or even good. But none of that matters without a nice offensive line unit that can work together. Like, chemistry on the offensive line is underrated. These players need to play together for some time, and you can't constantly be switching guys in and out. Even if they are talented, that chemistry is important. Communication on the offensive line is important. The best offensive lines in the league, you see they're starting the same 5 guys every week in and week out. And like, the Jets need that. How many different guys have started on the offensive line for the Jets this year?
It's different every week.
Yeah.
Literally. Dude, imagine the O-line Sanchez had with
Can you
Darnold.
bring me a beer?
And me too. Imagine the O-line Sanchez had with Darnold.
Exactly.
Mangold, Faneca, Moore, DeBrickashaw, and Damian Woody.
Yeah.
All like, that's like crazy good. I can't even believe that.
And that's that's the kind of unit that will take, some of the shortcomings you're having outside of those positions, even a very, very below average quarterback like Sanchez, and they're making it as far as the AFC Championship game. I know times have changed, but you see the same thing in today's NFL.
Uh-huh.
Like, start with a good offensive line, even if the weapons aren't great. Teams can compete, especially with a quarterback with as high of a ceiling as Sam Darnold.
Yep. Now, just to move, don't want to spend too much time on one question. We had another question that very much ties into this, and someone we just brought up, Le'Veon Bell. It was from Matt Pirolo. Thank you, Matt. It was, do Adams or Bell get traded this offseason? Jamal Adams or Le'Veon Bell? I'm gonna do percentages here. I think Adams. There's a 15% chance Jamal Adams is traded, maybe less. I would take under 15. Bell, I'll put it at 45. I don't think either of them get traded. I wouldn't be that surprised if Bell got traded.
I would agree with that. I think Bell is definitely more likely than Adams. I would be shocked if Adams got traded at this point. We talked about it at the deadline when it looked like for a second it might be happening, and the price tag was just too much, which as it should be.
Yeah.
If you're going to give up a player like that, you have to get a ridiculous return.
Yeah, especially the way he does everything.
Yeah. He's still on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
He has one more year before he has to get paid.
Yeah, this is going to be his 4th year next season.
So he has one more year. You bring him back. Try to build a team. That's a guy you build a team around. Le'Veon Bell, however, and you had been bringing it up the past couple days about you'd be willing to trade him. I think it'll be tough to get value for him because of the contract he's on and the season he's had, but I would agree if there's a market there, because of the running back position, as we've talked about, is like a luxury position, and it's not that imperative to a successful team if you have no offensive line and et cetera, whatever. I still don't think that they would trade Bell.
I just think
when it's all said and done, but it's possible, I guess.
I don't think that many teams are going to be interested in taking on the contract, and all the good teams won't be. They're like, we're not going to invest that in a running back because we'll be good anyway.
Right.
So I don't see anyone giving up that much draft capital for him, and I don't think the Jets should just give him away for just get anything.
It's not
for
worth
him.
it.
I would want at least, and they probably wouldn't get this, at least a 2nd-round pick. 3rd is probably the highest they get.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Odell went for a 1st, right?
He did. A 1st and Jabril
Zeitler.
Peppers.
Okay.
And I thought
They combined Zeitler and Olivier Vernon into the deal.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like a big-ass trade. But, at the end of the day, like you were saying, I think, it's going to be tough for a team to really go out and get Bell, who might need a running back or something, because if you're a running back away from winning a Super Bowl or being an actual contender, your team must be pretty good to begin with. And I don't know if that's a situation where you need to add that kind of cap onto where
who's
you're
a
at.
team that severely lacks a running back that could what team is Le'Veon Bell putting over the top? Like,
It's
the
tough.
Eagles,
It's
the
tough.
Packers,
Yeah,
teams that have never had a good running game. Like,
Yeah,
it feels
I mean,
never,
like-
but they have solid options.
The Eagles are always a team that's in the market for a running back.
Melvin Gordon's a free agent, so that's
what I was
another
going to
thing.
say. He's going to be more affordable. Bell's contract is huge, and he just hasn't really done anything this season to warrant somebody going out and giving a 1st or giving a 2nd for him. Like, who knows? You say the offensive line is bad in for the Jets, which it is, but he's had a year off. He's played this season, hasn't done anything to expect, that he's still what he was. So why would a team go out and trade an asset that the Jets are looking for to bring him in with that contract?
Yeah, I mean, going into last season, the Jets were in this position, right? Like, people thought the Jets were almost there. maybe Le'Veon Bell puts him over the top. His prowess as a receiver as well as a running back kind of makes him. He's not just a running back. He's a bona fide weapon.
Mhm.
Teams probably see this now and are like, okay, the Jets had this same exact mindset going into last season, and look how that turned out. Let's reevaluate.
Mhm.
But in that situation, Richard, I think you're right in that he just had a very subpar season for his standards. His value is at an all-time low.
Yeah,
So
it can't get worse than this.
yeah,
That's
so
for sure.
so if you're the Jets, I think you say you just down it. Keep the talented running back you have, because all you're gonna get for him is like minimal value, and just ride it out. Like build the team around him.
They're not in a position to be losing weapons
Mhm.
for
I agree.
quarterback.
Mhm.
They have to keep the good ones that they have and add more.
What because I'm talking about, like, my biggest thing is Bell's contract. The Jets, they have cap space, right? They're not like pressed for money or anything.
No, they're gonna have a pretty good amount, like
Right.
70 mil. Almost,
So it's
60.
not like they have to get rid of Bell to
No,
clear up
no.
some space. Like, they'll be
Exactly.
fine. They can live with that contract, and just you have to hope that he's gonna be better next
Darnold's
year.
on his rookie deal. It's fine. Like it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you have a quarterback
Yeah.
who's on a cheap deal like that. Yeah, definitely. So that's what I would say. I would say keep Bell. It's not worth what he would get traded for at this point. You might as well just keep him in and hope he gets better.
Agree.
As long as you can afford it, and they're in a position where they can afford it.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more like football questions?
I left my phone is charging in there, and I wrote all the questions down. I remember one off the top. Is that Michael Thomas?
Yeah.
God damn it, dude! Stop throwing.
You
him the
lost
ball.
3 yards and you're playing point PPR.
Full point. So he got 0.7.
That's why it's stupid.
Right? Like, that
You
was
should-
not worth
not
it.
You should not be getting 0.7 points for a
A loss of
reception
yards.
3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Makes no sense.
Very frustrating. He must have like 16 catches at this point.
He's the best to ever play.
He is the best.
What was the one? The question.
This is from Steve Martin, friend of the show.
Steve Martin?
Yeah. What? Is that the
Damn.
actor?
Now we
The
have
actor
famous
guy?
fans?
The Pink
Yeah.
Panther.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in Cheaper by the Dozen, and now he listens to the Memo. So, big
Shows
supporter.
What that did for his career.
Big supporter, Steve Martin. He asked me, and it was kind of a loaded question, which we can rearrange, but he asked, who will the Baltimore Ravens play and beat in the Super Bowl? He's not even a Ravens fan. I don't know what his infatuation with Baltimore is, but the question is basically who is going to win the NFC? Right? And who do the Ravens play in the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
I mean, you have the greatest of all time.
Some recency
quarterback.
bias?
I've liked them the whole year.
It's like, oh, this Breeze guy's pretty good, huh?
I've liked them
Look
the
at
whole
this.
year, and
I
everyone's.
think he just set some
Yeah,
records.
whoa, who's this guy?
I'm thinking it's gonna be either the Saints or the Packers. I don't think it's gonna be one of these 49er teams, new guys. They got that defense.
I still like the Niners. This is a tough one, though.
I could see.
They
Peter Rosenberg said this today.
Don't sleep on the Vikings.
Can't you also see the 49ers being that team that just like blows it in the first game they play?
absolutely.
Not if they play the Cowboys, which if the
Yes,
season
if they
ended
play
today,
the Cowboys. Oh, they don't want to see Dallas.
they will blow out the Cowboys if they play.
I would put. We're gonna have a bet on that game if that happens, and that will be a fun time. I don't know. I agree.
A fun time.
It'll be a fun
Placing
time.
a bet.
We'll do something fun. I think I agree with what Peter said, and I've been saying it for a while. I think the Niners are going to be one and done. But let's not.
Peter Rosenberg said that.
I think it was him that said that.
That's how you
NFL
know it's
guru.
wrong.
He knows.
No,
his
I wasn't
football.
saying that. That's why it was just like he brought it up, and I was like, they would be that team to do like
Yes.
They beat the team that you're picking to play in the Super Bowl. That was a great game.
take our bumps.
Unreal.
Scoregami.
Unreal game.
You got to play around, you know.
They lost to the Falcons.
All right. Every team has a bad loss.
Saints had a bad loss.
Good loss.
To the 49ers?
Oh, you know what?
They got beat fair and
Let me
square.
say, the Niners are legit. They have 3 losses this season. All of their losses were on the last play of the game.
Interesting.
2 field goals and then that Julio Jones touchdown. I mean,
They're
it's
obviously
it's
amazing.
tough to beat them. It is.
Oh, they're very good.
They could easily go.
So we're just picking our NFC candidate right now, huh?
The NFC representative in the Super Bowl, yeah. I'm going to take the Packers because I love Aaron Rodgers.
I like that pick
And he's the king.
because that's your opinion. You're allowed to say that.
No.
If it's not Dallas, it'll be the
This
Packers.
fucking guy, Pascal.
Alex, who you got? He's going to say the Saints.
No, he's going to go the Niners. You like the Saints?
I do like the
The
Saints.
thing that the Niners are lacking is the quarterback.
Quarterback. Yeah,
That's the only weakness on the
good.
team.
no, he's good, but he is the thing that's holding them back.
Yeah.
He's pretty inconsistent.
You look at the other teams in the NFC, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees,
Russell
Wilson, Kirk Cousins, who's
They're
good.
the same thing.
No, Cousins has a better track record than Jimmy G. You have to give him the nod over him.
This year, though, he's thrown less.
He doesn't throw any picks.
Garoppolo's good this year. He's fine.
He's a game manager. You hate that.
He's got almost 30 TDs, though. Doesn't he?
He's a game manager, but
It's like 21,
the thing
22.
that
No
separates him
way.
from
I don't think he has that many.
the thing that separates him from your average game manager,
Is that he's
Is-
hot?
no, it's the offense. It's so like
26.
That's good.
it's a really well run offense. Kyle Shanahan is always calling like creative plays, and he's like a actual offensive guru, unlike
T.Y.
Adam
caught a
Gase.
pass
Really. Did he
for
lose
minus 2
yards? All right, plus 0.3, we'll take it.
Is that his first reception of the game?
Yeah.
Wow. You
This
were
is
talking
tough.
about Kyle Shanahan offense.
I would say the Packers too. That would be my
I
pick.
feel like they're kind of slept on.
I feel like they are kind of slept on as well.
I feel like people just forget they exist.
They
They're
do.
just like, oh yeah, they're in.
But
I want to say the Vikings.
you have Aaron Rodgers, like you can't.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice to
It's
see
gonna
him
be
in
just,
the
so
playoffs
hard
again.
to beat. Yeah.
I feel like you just
That's
gotta, like, all these teams in the NFC. Like, the only team with like a very, very good run offense is the Vikings, but I just don't believe in.
The Cowboys.
My God.
Stop talking about.
Do they not have a very good run offense?
that can
They
win.
do.
All right.
They do.
They
All
do.
right. Yes, they do.
Thank you.
They didn't.
But
got you, Zeke.
but I just don't trust Cousins to get it done in the playoffs. So like, I'm just gonna go with the
Didn't-
best QB in the league, Aaron Rodgers.
Didn't they run for like 250 yesterday?
Against the Rams. Yeah.
I guess the Seahawks too.
Zeke feasted.
But the Seahawks
Alex
are
is
a
gonna
weird
pick
team.
Every team.
Well, I'm saying they have a good run offense, but I don't know. Something just doesn't rub me the right way about the Seahawks.
I feel that.
What was that stat you put today?
They're the first team in NFL history with 10 wins of less than a touchdown.
That's fake news. They're done. They can't. I mean, you can't keep that going.
I mean, they win the close.
10 wins by 1 touchdown,
10 wins, yeah.
and they have 11 wins on the season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
I'm
read
out
that,
on
but
Seattle.
I'll
I'm out.
fact check.
I'm out.
It's ridiculous. They fucking-
All right, we should.
All right,
we
you
should
called me a
get
hot take
lucky.
machine for saying they're
They're
overrated.
getting no
Yes.
about Seattle.
Yeah.
No, that was not what I said. You said
All right.
Amari Cooper sucks, and that's when I said that. You were like,
They beat the Bengals by 1. The
That was like
Seahawks
week
by
2.
2. It was week 1.
they beat the Seahawks by 2.
Steelers by 2. Lost to
The hot take machine that had nothing to do with Seattle.
it was like
You
shortly
said-
after.
You said you don't want the Jets to get Amari Cooper.
I said Seahawks overrated too. Anyway,
He did say that. I remember he said
It was about
Seahawks.
Amari Cooper.
fine, whatever. Lost to the Saints, Beat the Cardinals by 17. Beat the Rams by 1. Beat the Beat the Browns by 4. Lost to the Ravens. Beat the Falcons by 7. Beat the Buccaneers by 6. Beat the 49ers by 3. Beat the Eagles by 8.
That's one score.
Beat the Vikings by 7. Okay, one score. Lost to the Rams. Beat the Panthers by 6. So yeah, one-score games all around.
You know what?
They get wins.
Can win close games.
They are blowing them out, and then they score a last second.
Nah.
What did we say about Wilson? Who do you want? Who do you want with the ball with 2 minutes left?
Doesn't matter.
What'd you say?
I said Wilson.
You literally said it doesn't matter.
I did say it doesn't matter. Well, because you were like Wilson, Mahomes, or Rodgers. It's like
God forbid I ask you for an opinion.
They're all amazing. Like it doesn't.
Okay, but there's an answer to the question.
Is there?
Who do you want?
It's your answer.
If you have to
I
pick,
wanted Wilson, I said, but I said it didn't matter.
You hate to see the lack of conviction.
I want Wilson.
But it doesn't matter.
All right, so
But no, you do want Wilson because he's won 10 games by one possession. All of a sudden, 8 points is one possession, I guess that we can call it that. I mean, it is, but it's not.
It literally is.
It is what it is.
Anyway, so Packers,
Saints. That's who
Saints.
the Ravens will play in the Super Bowl and not beat because the Saints will win.
No, the
think-
question is who will they beat? So they're going to beat these teams.
Okay, well,
This isn't a question. I'm just going to put it out there right now so it's on the record. The Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl. You talk about the Packers being slept on and forgotten about. All of a sudden, Lamar Jackson scores a couple touchdowns, and they forget that Mahomes is the best quarterback in football.
I think they can beat them.
Well, the Chiefs were playing bad for like 5 weeks of the season.
They have 4 losses. They're 10-4. They had a rough
They
stretch.
lost to the
Mahomes got
Titans.
hurt.
They lost to the Colts, who are getting demolished right now and are not a good team.
Yeah, you know what? They're 10-4.
The Colts played really well that game, though.
They've
Yeah,
won like,
okay.
They've won like 5 in a row.
Obviously, you play well if you beat the Chiefs, but they're losing to these teams.
That's my point. You're proving my point. Everybody is sleeping on the Chiefs.
I don't think
They're going
anyone's
to win the Super Bowl.
I bet you they have one of the highest odds to win the Super Bowl right now. Probably the highest.
You think they're the favorite?
No. Probably the Ravens are. But top 3 easily.
Let's go to another question. You can't forget the ones you wrote down. We need to answer them all.
Who beat the Ravens this year? The Chiefs did.
They did.
The Browns.
The Chiefs did. And the Browns. That's weird.
All right, I got a question here. We're going to switch it up to a little NBA.
Am I about to lose my fantasy matchup on
Yes.
live fucking
You
television?
What's the score right now? Did
I'm up by 2. No.
Up by 2.
Can they just bench Kamara? Get him
I
some
saw
rest.
Murray was in the game.
This guy's always crying.
Oh, my God.
Peyton's better. All right, so from I am Samat.
give it to
Samat.
Hill.
I don't know how to say
Sam
your name.
Samant?
No. I am Samat.
Saw that
Can the
coming.
Warriors make a comeback in 2020, or is it over? No, they can definitely make. They have
They're
Steph
gonna be
Curry.
the best team in the league next year.
They have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. I don't know what they're
And
gonna.
they're going to have
gonna
a
trade
high
Russell.
fucking draft pick.
High draft.
They're gonna
pick.
have the first pick. Those Splash Brothers coming back.
They were- I feel
Draymond
like
Green.
They were amazing before they had Kevin Durant, so they're still gonna be amazing.
Yeah, they will bounce back, and they're gonna be contenders.
And look at what happened to LeBron this year. He had the most time off of his career.
Always has to relate it back to the
I'm
Lakers.
just saying, well, they were the other ones playing 5 years in a row straight to the finals. Like they finally are getting a rest.
Fine.
Kamara for
What,
9
the
yards.
playoff rest?
They're the whole year rest. Curry's
LeBron,
out.
LeBron decided to sit out the postseason. He did.
Did he not get the most rest of his entire basketball career?
He did.
Are Clay and Steph not getting the most rest in the past 5 years?
But Clay is a torn ACL.
That's different.
He's hurt.
Curry has what, a broken ankle?
He's a broken hand.
Hand.
It's fine.
Kamara just went up the middle for 9 yards. So now
They
it's-
shouldn't
was it
trade Russell because
1.1?
he's probably better than everyone.
Something like that.
So yeah, we all think
They're gonna
definitely
trade
bounce back.
Russell.
No,
They
he pretty much
easily-
Why are
said
they going
there was
for
a
it?
really good article about him. He pretty much said like he
All right,
expects
good.
to get traded.
You have to. You're
He
5
said
and 22.
he was like I just wanted to come learn from Steph and Clay.
How'd that
And
work
then
out?
They're still there.
No, they're going out at night. They're going out.
They're
He's not
probably
helping
boys.
him on the court.
He's a boss. You got to read that article.
I like Russell. Obviously, it was a good idea to do that. It didn't work out very well.
No, but they're still they can still they're almost like coaches now.
Is Draymond Green playing?
Shouldn't.
Is he
think
Russell
he
and
plays.
Green? How many games have they been playing together?
He only just came back recently, Russell. He was hurt.
They were both hurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
But
know
I'm
who's
gonna
special?
say if you put Russell and Green on a team with role players or whatever, you'd think that they'd probably be better than 5-22, right?
No.
Yeah. Well, they were.
Green is he's obviously very good, but he's a product of the whole system they have over there.
That's true.
And Russell
That's
is
fair.
very good as well, but he's like a borderline all-star.
5-22 though.
In the West, they're it's tough to win games in the West, and their role
That's
players.
the thing. I think that they both missed a lot of games.
They don't have Iguodala anymore. Their role players are significantly worse.
None of them were playing in a single
Yeah.
game last year.
Eddie
Don't they have
Pascal, that guy's good.
He's good. He's on
Yeah.
my fantasy team.
Yeah, 5-22, good.
Dude, I look at the standings in the NBA and I see the Warriors in last place in the West.
Isn't
It
that
seems
unbelievable?
fake. It literally looks like a mistake.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's absurd because you're just so used to them at this point being
We can't get points for fucking pass interference. Ty would be going off.
You get points for negative yards, but not for pass interference.
There should be something for that.
Yeah, right.
Would have had it.
Little point here and there.
Throw me a couple.
I don't know if the Warriors I don't know if they're gonna get back to even where they were before they had KD. Obviously, they're not gonna get back to where they were when they had KD, greatest team of all time. But
They were the greatest team of all time before KD, record-wise.
record-wise, yeah, but they didn't even win the championship that year. Yeah, I don't know if they're. Are you fucking kidding me, Ty?
He dropped it.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll win the finals again, but they'll be in there,
We'll see, man.
They have
We
Steph
gotta see
Curry and Klay
fucking
Thompson.
Curry's got to get healthy. They both have to get healthy, stay on the court.
Obviously, but if they're playing like they have all those other years, then Steph Curry and Klay Thompson will be not a title favorite, but they're a contender.
Yeah,
You never know.
they're a contender. I'll give them that. A title contender, I don't know. I have my doubts.
All right, Matthew, you have all the questions written
I
down?
do. I do have another question here. Bear with me for 1 second. This is a good one. This is from Brian Eckerly, a good pal. He asked, who is your non-quarterback MVP? I think we can all agree right now if we had to pick an MVP, it'd be Lamar Jackson. Russell Wilson, Mahomes, whoever you want. Quarterbacks usually dominate the award. So if you take quarterbacks out of the question and you're looking at, offense, defense, whoever, who would you guys think would be your MVP?
I got to go with someone on the defensive side of the ball. I'd say Stephon Gilmore. You talk about a guy, yes, Ty.
You won.
Huh?
You won.
Dude, I don't know. You never know.
You're gonna win.
Still 5 minutes left.
Okay. What is this about?
Just looking at the Patriots,
Don't forget.
Yeah, he did this.
keeping in mind all their offensive struggles, which has been a storyline throughout the season, maybe besides the first few weeks when they were playing basically no one. He has just been lights out on the covering receivers, making huge plays, interceptions.
There it is. There
Interceptions,
it is.
scoring points,
Milk the clock.
picking off the ball, returning it for a touchdown. He had a pick six this past week, 2 interceptions. I don't even know how many interceptions he has this season.
Who?
Gilmore.
Gilmore? He's tied for the league lead. It's 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's just a lot of interceptions. Just completely locking down receivers, game changer. That defense. Say what you want about the Patriots. A lot of people have a lot of criticisms for them, but he and the rest of that defense has been like stout throughout the season, no matter who they've played. And he's been very valuable, just like carrying this team on the defensive side of the ball to. It looks like they're going to get a bye in the first round, most likely. For a team that's getting criticized as much as they are, they have 3 losses. They have a very good chance of finishing 13-3 and maybe even getting home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So, the offense isn't working. You got to look at the defensive side of the ball. And Stephon Gilmore has been, without a doubt, the best player on a very, very, very good defense, maybe even historically good defense.
Oh, that's such a bullshit call. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's so bad.
So my non-QB MVP would be Stephon Gilmore, runner-up George Kittle.
I mean, Jack Doyle, he's not catching this pass.
I'm going to go
that. It was a good take.
I'm going to go with an
Thanks.
offensive player.
Thanks for interrupting it.
I'm sorry. Can you look at this play and tell me if this is pass interference?
No, I'm fine with it. Saquon Hampton. Interesting.
I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball to the least valuable position in the league, a running back. His name is Dalvin Cook. He's what makes the Vikings offense run. In the beginning of the year, they really weren't using him as that workhorse type back. He had 9 carries in 2 out of the first 3 games and didn't have more than 20 in the first 4 games, something like that. And then you can see, if you look at the games, Kirk Cousins' big turnaround from that beginning of the year matches up right to when they started using Dalvin Cook as that workhorse, 25 per game, carry per game guy, getting him involved in the passing game. He has 13 total touchdowns, 1,200 rushing yards, another 500 through the air. And he has the Vikings, and what are they? NFC, what are they?
They're the
North?
Yes.
He has the Vikings, him and Kirk Cousins, second in the NFC North. They are definitely one of the better teams in the NFC. They have the Packers in their division. That's why they're not gonna get home field advantage in the playoffs. But
they might.
They play them this week.
They play this week.
Villani saw the future, and he took the Vikings to win the Super Bowl.
So yeah, they still can win their division, and he's a big part of their turnaround there, and he's really good. Matt swayed my opinion like an idiot.
Yeah, he's definitely broken onto the scene as.
I hated him.
Yeah.
I hated him.
He's definitely broken onto the scene as one of the league's premier running backs. Kind of under the radar too. I don't know if we hear enough talk about Dalvin Cook.
He was when he first played as a rookie. He was good, kind of breaking out. People were hopping on the train, and he was getting a lot of hype. And then he tore his ACL.
Right.
He kind of struggled the next year, and then now.
Yeah, but I like that pick.
Yeah, the Vikings are a cool team.
Yes,
I agree. I like that pick. I hope he's all right. I know you said today that
Mike Zimmer said that he can play.
He can go. Cool. There's a lot of guys. You guys mentioned them that are worthy of it. I'm gonna go first. Honorable mention. I spoke about this to you guys today. T.J. Watt is having an incredible year. He's got 13, 14 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, something stupid like that, a couple interceptions. He's been all over the field for the Steelers, and really, you look at the reason why Pittsburgh is still alive and contending for the postseason is because of their defense, and he's the leader of the defense. So he's up there for me, but I think that the only reason, the answer to this question in terms of non-quarterback MVP would be Michael Thomas. I'm watching him right now, and it's just he's got 15 targets, 15 catches, something stupid like that. He leads the league in receptions, in yards. They obviously lost Drew Brees for a lot of games this season.
Is he in the stands? Oh, it's a
Yo,
lookalike.
that's literally him.
I thought it was him, yo.
That's crazy. So Breeze went down for a while. Michael Thomas didn't skip a beat. Like kept reeling in passes. Kept, putting the team on his back and just winning games. Drew Brees is 29 for 30.
He broke 2 records
Are you
tonight.
kidding me?
Right now in this game, he has the NFL record for highest completion percentage in a game. He's 29 for 30.
That's insane.
96.7%.
That's incredible.
And Kamara is not in the game,
Bridgewater is in the
which
game
is
too.
fantastic.
Well, congratulations. You made it to the finals. You made it to the finals.
Come on.
Teddy Bridge.
It ain't over until the fat lady sings.
I better not see Michael Thomas on that field. But, yes, he is my non-quarterback MVP. I think he should honestly – he might get a couple MVP votes as it is, just because of the season he's having, the records he's breaking, and being able to do it with Breeze injured for a bunch of games.
Yeah, I think all of these guys might get some pub.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Gilmore and Watt for sure. They're probably battling it out for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But there's
That'd
a
be a
lot.
nice
There's
race.
been a lot of guys that have been helping out. Dalvin Cook. I mean,
That's a good question, though. Thanks, Brian.
Peace.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along. What's our runtime right now?
We are at an hour and 5 minutes.
We have like 8 questions left.
Should this be the question special?
I mean, yeah, if we want to do just questions and then predictions separate. like
Yeah,
a
we
separate
should do
pod,
that.
We can do that. All right, here we have. And I'm gonna give a shout out here so we can address the questions. Marco Moya, we talked about this a lot last week or the week before. Marco asks, "What is Phillip Rivers' future in the NFL?" I don't think personally much has changed from my perspective from what they should do when we spoke about it the other day. Real quick though, I want them to. I think Rivers is done as far as contending for a Super Bowl. I think that you give him one more season just to be a bridge quarterback and then move on from there. But I don't think this is his last year. I think he'll play again next season. So that's my answer.
I think we all were in agreement on that last time we talked about it, that he's probably done. They're not going to win a Super Bowl with him, but you could see him coming back next year for sure. Doesn't feel like his last year.
Yeah. Just because there's no route to go without him. Like, what are you going to do? Like, there's no backup on the roster that's worthy of, like, getting run. There's nobody that they're going to, like, sign in free agency. Give him one more year and then figure it out.
Yeah.
Unless sleep with that one.
Unless he wants to go out on his own terms and maybe retire after this season, which is, never out of the question. But it looks like the Chargers are going to address the quarterback position in the offseason, so maybe Rivers doesn't want to be, maybe he doesn't want to go on that whole like retirement tour with a young quarterback behind him. I feel like you might see next season a similar situation to Eli, if the Chargers do decide to draft a quarterback, and maybe he doesn't want to go through that whole controversy of like, should he be starting? Should he not? Is he gonna back up this, young guy? But as far as
point, it was definitely an awkward way for Eli to end his career.
yeah, definitely. But as far as Rivers being like a great quarterback in this league as he has been for the last 15 years, that's done. He doesn't look the same as he did even last season. So as sad as it is, because I am a Rivers fan, he's done so. And the Chargers got to start preparing for the future. There's a team that competes year in and year out, so I'm sure they're not going to settle for being terrible for a while. They're going to want to find an answer soon, and they're going to want to compete again soon.
Tua. They got to get Tua.
You got to get Tua.
It's so tough. I mean, like, I love Rivers, and for the entire time I've been a football fan, he's the only quarterback that like I've ever rooted for, like I've known.
Yeah.
as a Chargers fan. And I've seen, like, you guys as Jets fans go through, like, Pennington, Sanchez, Fitzpatrick, fucking Darnold Geno Smith, like, all these different quarterbacks. Once you lose...
Petty,
Bryce Petty.
Christian,
Oh, my
Josh
God.
McCown, Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you lose, when you don't have, like, and Phillip Rivers is, like, the absolute, like, pillar of consistency starting every single game. To not have a quarterback or not know where to go after he leaves, like, it's scary, dude. Like, they could be bad for so long if they don't find a guy.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's fucked up, dude. It's fucked up, and now we're in that now. It's tough.
Yeah, and Phillip Rivers
Just a
has
moment
been
of silence for Phillip Rivers.
Rivers has been super loyal, and I talk about this from time to time. Players that are loyal to a fault. I feel like Rivers is kind of in that category. You know, Rivers is a great quarterback, no doubt. The Chargers, as an organization, they definitely have certain aspects of the organization that people across the league, across fan bases, are critical of. But Rivers just stuck with it, remained loyal, put his blood, sweat, and tears into it, competed every season, played very well every season. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, but you gotta wonder if he had, maybe gotten a chance somewhere else, some organization with better processes and like that were more capable of supporting him. Maybe he'd have a Super Bowl ring or two, but he was loyal. You gotta respect him for that. And yeah, my utmost respect to Rivers, but looks like his time is done, but he'll be in Canton one day, I think.
I agree.
Damn. Didn't expect a Phillip Rivers eulogy to take place on the episode tonight, but
a few tears were shed.
it was worthy. This is what he
Cheers
does.
to Phillip Rivers.
Cheers to Philly.
Cheers to
Philly Rivers.
And I'm officially going to the fantasy football finals again.
Yes, sir.
Oh my
We
God.
both won our games.
Let's
We
go.
both made it. Congrats.
Congrats.
You're playing Egal, Alex?
Did Egal win?
Yeah, he did. He did. How bad
Wow.
are you rooting for Egal?
Oh, so hard rooting for Egal.
Could this kid get 4 rings
No,
in
no
8
way.
years? 50% of the time.
That's unbelievable.
How many times have you lost in the finals?
Once or twice.
Why have you
fucking-
made it
I'm good at
6 out
this.
of 8 years? Why you make the finals?
It's not luck. I'm good, man.
It has to be luck.
It's luck.
Dude.
It's
How is it
He
luck?
doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you
all
know
right.
the players
Dude,
are better.
during football season, I fucking breathe fantasy football.
You tell me every year, you're like, I didn't even, like, the draft is the next day. You're like, oh,
The
yeah,
draft,
I don't know.
we talk about it every year. The draft doesn't matter. Like, it's all
Well,
about in-season management.
This year, you're in Greece, and you go, oh, well, you know what? I might not be home. Do it without me. You were about to back out of the league this year. That's how much prep you have. And then you just walk into the finals every single season.
It's not luck. I'm good at this shit, man. Give me some props.
Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin.
You'd be nothing without him.
Yeah, it was a good pick. Oh, it's disgusting.
That was a burp.
It was like half yak.
All right, I've got another question here. This is on the topic of Phillip Rivers, and I mean, we don't have to. Please, I don't want to spend as much time on this, but the question was from my friend Alec Boucher, Bobby Boucher, we call him, the water boy.
I also said I was going to beat Mets. I said I was going to beat him in the finals.
The question
but
that I was going to
You're playing
ask
Egal.
was,
Oh, you just beat Mets.
yeah.
Mets one and done. How
Wow.
about that? The Niners of our fantasy
Yeah.
league.
Wow.
Add him to my rogues gallery.
Yes,
All right. So
here,
what's the
man.
question?
The question
Haters.
The question is, will Eli Manning play in the NFL next year? And if so, where? So this is Phillip Rivers'
He
question.
shouldn't. I don't think he should.
No, he's come out and said that he doesn't want to be a backup or he doesn't like being a backup. Whatever Matt told me before we went on the air. But unless he gets a starting job somewhere, I don't see it happening, and I don't think he will. So, I mean,
He shouldn't.
Like, I don't know why people are saying he played well against the Eagles. I mean, I guess he did for like a quarter, and he threw 2 touchdowns, and he ended up having a decent stat line. But
Threw 3 picks.
That was the next game,
Oh.
yeah, next game.
which he won.
Yeah, no, that was it was cool that he went out like that.
They
You
won.
don't think that?
Fuck
The
him.
Giants won.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
they won like 36-20.
Who they
they
play?
pounded them. What was it?
Miami.
Yeah, they beat Miami
Oh.
real bad.
Bad win.
Doesn't count.
Hurts them. Yeah.
Bad win if they beat the
That's for
Redskins
sure.
over.
No. You go out and you try to win the games. That's what happens.
I'm kidding, I agree.
But yeah, like Eli's just done. Like he's like I said, he's doesn't want to be a backup, and he's not good enough to be a starter. So he might as well just retire.
Yeah, he should. Go out with that nice win there. Shouldn't play the rest of the season. Unless
If we want to
Daniel
go back,
Jones is hurt, then you probably should.
if we want to go back to have another conversation about the Giants, like I think they should have. I think they should have played Eli a little bit more. Given, yeah, I mean, it's more of a conversation about Jones, but it seems like they threw him out there a little early. He turned the ball over a lot. You got to hope that his confidence is still there. But they kind of, I was saying this last week or 2 weeks ago, every team, they want this. They have a respected, capable quarterback on their way out and somebody who's supposed to take over coming in after them. So you give him some time to sit behind this quarterback, learn from the sideline. And then when the time is right, you put him in there, and hopefully he has the confidence to go out there and perform. And I think they might have jumped the gun a little bit with throwing Daniel Jones out there early in the season, and he's been a turnover machine. He's been pretty bad, to be quite frank. But it's a separate topic. But yeah, I think they might have jumped the gun with Jones.
Okay, interesting. Haven't heard that.
I mean,
Eli
like,
was
in terms
playing
of
really
what,
bad.
for like this one season. Like, it doesn't hurt Jones to have his 13, 14 games under his belt going into next year.
It depends on how he deals with it, because he did have a bad season. The Giants were bad.
A
He was
typical
bad.
rookie year.
But now you have him in a position where he has to bounce back from struggling mightily, instead of trying to keep him, like, baby him a little bit. Sometimes quarterbacks need that. A lot of the great quarterbacks in the league, they went through this process. Rodgers, Rivers, Brady.
It doesn't happen anymore, though. First round quarterbacks,
Even
first round
even
quarterbacks, they
Mahomes,
play.
even Mahomes sat for almost a full
Yeah.
season.
That's true. It's more rare than it was though beforehand. Like, you have
Played one
Darnold,
game.
Baker. Like, they're so ready to get these young guys in the game. Their teams are looking for a
Darnold,
reason
Baker,
to get
like
them
these
in.
are
Josh Allen
quarterbacks that are.
started, like, week 3 he came in last year.
Yeah, but all three of these guys you just said are guys that are struggling.
Well, yeah, because they're young
And
and
they-
this is how they're learning. And I'd rather learn on the fly than, like, you throw Darnold in week 1 of his second year, all of his rookie lumps and, like, all of the problems he has to go through, that's just backed up a season.
That's not necessarily true.
Get the reps under his belt.
That's not necessarily true.
They
You
were in
learn
a
you
position
learn
where
a
it
lot
was
from it.
better for Darnold to play. They didn't have it.
No, of course, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The Giants had the luxury of
Yeah.
having Eli, who was like, obviously he's not good, but nobody would have batted an eye at them running out Eli week after week. Just Jones is not ready yet. Jones is not ready yet. And then, like, when the time is right, run Jones out there, and then sometimes you gotta baby these
Eli was playing
quarterbacks
really bad.
alone. Yeah,
Jones
yeah.
was a spark for a little bit, and then
He was bad, but
throw that many
nobody
picks and
like
fumbles.
would the media or fans be like in uproar if Jones was sitting for most of this season and Eli was out there playing? Like, there wouldn't be much of a difference between where they are now I guess you wouldn't know, but like, if anything, I think the Giants would be in a better place now if Eli was playing this full season. Eli,
Maybe.
Eli,
He's not good.
He's not good, but neither is Jones. Like, Jones is turning the ball over at like a historic pace.
Yeah. Well, it's also like what Matt said. Like, it's better for Jones to have gotten these games now. What are you gonna do with Eli? Why does
That's
Eli
debatable.
need to play?
It's debatable. We'll see how Jones takes this terrible season on the chin.
At least he's not throwing picks. He gets hit and fumbles. That's a
I know.
way easier correctable problem than throwing picks.
That's true. But if like Giants fans are going to expect a step forward from Jones.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen early next season,
well, we had that whole discussion about young quarterbacks and how they're expected to shoot up right away. That's just on the fans for setting those expectations on every single young quarterback.
but now it's like
22.
he has a full season under his belt. Like he's next year he's going to be a second-year quarterback with a full season of experience.
Yeah.
Like people are going to be like, all right, like time to start playing well, or like, we'll start thinking about someone else. Yeah.
People are like, Burrow. It's like, wow, you're just an idiot. But yeah, I mean,
We'll see.
I don't want. We should finish these questions because we keep.
Yeah, we're going way off topic here.
I like that discussion.
It's an interesting discussion.
That's about all I got, except for the Jeff James question. You wanna go there?
What was that one?
Jeff James, fan of the show, I guess, a follower of ours on Instagram. He put through a question, not so much a question as it is just a person's last name. He said Epstein.
All right, I'm going to take a pee.
He said Epstein, ... And I know you wanted to shed some light on this topic.
I just
So what do you?
want to know what you meant.
Yeah, Jeff,
don't
be
want to
a little
talk-
bit more clear about what you want us to talk about here.
Yeah, just Epstein. It could be Freud Epstein, for all I know. Are you talking about Jeffrey Epstein, the recently deceased
Well, his name is Jeff.
pedophile?
This kid's name is Jeff. What do you mean? What did you just quote there?
Deceased.
Pedophile? You think he's not dead?
No, he's
He's
probably dead,
alive.
but he was murdered if he's dead, or
Yes.
he's alive. It could be either.
You think
But-
he might be alive?
I don't know what he is. No, I wasn't putting quotes around pedophile. He is
You
definitely
put quotes
a
on
pedophile.
deceased.
Yes.
He's dead.
Must be another body.
Yeah, is that something floating around?
People, yeah. You think there's not something floating around? There's something floating around about any single possibility.
Okay, yes, but I would hope that you don't believe everything. So
I
this is
don't know.
something that you
He
think
could not
is-
be dead. Like they could have pulled some shit. I don't know anymore. After he died, I was like, okay, well, obviously everything's fucked up if this was able to happen.
Yeah,
So I don't know anymore.
but I would think that they don't want him alive. They wouldn't want to keep
Or
him
they
alive.
do. No, they do want him alive. Well,
Why? Wouldn't they want to just kill him off so he couldn't say anything?
no, but what if like the FBI or something faked his death so that they could hide him and that he couldn't be murdered?
Wouldn't they just kill him?
What?
Wouldn't they just kill him? Why do we want to
Who?
keep him alive? Jeffrey Epstein. Why would they want to?
Who are you saying would kill him? The FBI?
Yeah,
'Cause
the
they're his
government. Anybody in the
boys.
government.
I'm saying the people. Oh, because you're saying the government is in on it,
Yeah, they want to.
so they want him dead.
They want him to be quiet.
I guess that also makes sense. I was assuming like the good people of the government.
There are no good people in the government.
That's true. All right, thanks for the Epstein.
Okay, that's all we have for. That's all we have for questions today.
No, we had another one.
What was it?
My
really-
sister Maria asked why I'm so cute.
I think that was just a pity comment.
I was born this way.
We also had these
Way
from,
less interesting.
from Matt's
That's
Matt's
cool.
friend. Right? Is your friend AJ Espinosa?
Yes.
He said, "Answer my Gardner Foles question." That was the first thing he said, which we did do in a previous episode. We talked about should Foles start when
Damn, why
that
don't
was
you-
a
why
really
don't you
long
tune
time
in?
ago.
AJ.
So we did answer that. You have to go back like 4 or 5. It was
Was
a while
that it?
ago.
Because I remember him. He asked me about that, and I didn't remember what question he even asked.
I think he said, wasn't it, should
Must have
Foles
been that
start
long
when
ago.
he comes back, or should they continue with the Minshew mania?
Yeah,
Was that
he
him?
asked that.
Yeah, I think so. And then he said,
It was
can
weeks
Lamar,
ago.
this is kind of going back to something we already talked about, but we got to get to everyone here. He said, can Lamar win it all? And I think we all think he can. I mean, he's going to win MVP.
No.
The Ravens are one of the best teams in the league. I think he can win it all.
I think the Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl, so I don't.
But you don't think the Ravens can win it all?
You don't
Yeah,
think
if
there's
you
a-
make the playoffs, any team can win it all.
Oh my
All
God!
of,
this
now
kid.
you have an attitude like what?
No, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think the Ravens are gonna win the Super
you're
Bowl.
predicting someone. Do you think they have the capability to win the Super Bowl?
That's a ridiculous question. I think any team that makes the playoffs has the capability to win the Super Bowl, but I
don't
don't
think
think
that.
that they all will. I think the Chiefs will.
Do the Texans have a
any
chance
other
of winning the
question?
Super Bowl?
They're not eliminated yet.
Oh my God!
What do I know?
About 15 minutes ago,
Play one side
we
of the
would've gave you
fence.
a different answer.
My side of the fence has been from day one. The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
You decided
Okay,
that
so say
literally
no.
today.
So say no.
The first day.
Yeah, this is the first day Matt decided that.
I said no. I said no.
But
He
you're
can't
saying
win it
any
all.
team that has any team that makes the playoffs has a chance of winning the Super Bowl. So
Right.
you're contradicting yourself.
He can win it all. He won't. What do you want? Can he win it all? Yes. The better question is, will he win it all?
This
No.
kid's talking lack of conviction early in the episode. We're seeing
How much more conviction do you want besides a guarantee that the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl?
say Lamar Jackson and the Ravens
But he
won't
can.
win the Super. Oh my God!
He can, but he won't.
Being ridiculous.
Okay, so the question
not
was
get
can.
that?
It didn't say will. It said can he win it all?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Dumb.
Say no. Just say no.
No. Structure your questions better.
All right. I think that was our final question.
Are you guys going to answer it or
I said yes.
yes?
Yes,
Yes.
I think
You
can
think
win
the
it all.
Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl?
I think they can.
I don't know if they're going to. I think they have a very real shot of winning the Super Bowl, but you're guaranteeing the Chiefs do.
Yes, I am.
So
Well,
you're saying
making a
no.
wrong decision. So that's fine. Well, this actually turned into what was just going to be a question segment. Turned into the
You see
Memo
that?
question
Entire episode.
special.
Which is good. We had
Yeah.
popular demand for questions. We had a lot of content.
Keep sending
to
them
do.
in. I'm gonna post this whole entire thing on Instagram. You're all gonna see it. You're all gonna get tagged, and you're all gonna get time stamped. And then you're all gonna get in the mail. You're gonna get instructions to a warehouse in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, actually. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna meet me in that warehouse where I will be supplying you with pounds of drugs, and you will be dealing these drugs in your areas and coming back to me in Tulsa, Oklahoma with the money as we run our operation of pounds of weed.
I'm just going to go on record. I looked at my phone for 1 second, came back up, had no idea what was going on. So,
Just
that's a
saying my
Richard,
plan.
that's an isolation assignment that he's on right now. He's acting alone.
That is a group assignment that we all planned together. Me, Matt, and Alex went over the specifics of every ounce of weed
I
and
have no
drugs
involvement.
that we were going to buy. Anything else that you guys want to add? We're going to...
It's tough to follow that up, but I mean,
It is. We're actually, what we're going to do now, we're going to stop this, and we're going to move on to we're going to do a pick segment that will be in a separate episode. So please go keep an eye out for that. Tune into that. It's a very tight race right now. I'm 1 game behind Matt for last place, so we'll talk about it more on that. Thank you for tuning in.
we're gonna get into the predictions.
Yeah, let's like we said in the beginning, give us that subscribe on wherever you listen, be it YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Come to my house for dinner. Maybe we can talk. I don't know. Thank you. And goodbye. Signing off is
Matt, happy to have you guys here. Thank you for tuning in.
and
I'm the best.